Hello, this is the 15th lecture of the Semantic SEO course. In this lecture, we will continue to examine the specific contextual structure that we created in this area. So last time we checked this part, and once we finish our specific main content, we start to create a contextual border one more time. We put one H2. Once we put it, we tell the person to give all the books or the scientists with their quotes and etc. Then again, one more time, we tell the person to use the milligrams and describe the electrolytes connection to direct the water intoxication. Then we try to give a kind of connection from these events. And from there, we go to the actual calculation of the water intake in a correct way or its opposite, and some Boolean questions and the treatment directed to bring the topic back. Because if you continue to distract it further after the military training or some other things, if you continue to talk about something else, the subsection will be too irrelevant. That's why important, but also relatively least important attribute, it comes at the end with an instruction list and the instruction definition. Any instruction that we are giving here for the treatment, it will be touching one of these symptoms one more time. So basically at the end of the article, again, one more time, we are actually touching the most important part. So last lecture, we actually talk about, sorry for this, we talk about the distribution of the contextual domains inside an article. There is one more thing. When we check the articles, you will realize that the specific context terms in the macro context directly in the H1, they will be appearing web page side, but some other words or some other contextual vectors that appears around the nausea, I guess vomiting, headaches, fatigue, or color of the urine. Whenever we talk one of these things, the words that appear in this part, they won't be appearing in the next one. But there is always a specific context term that will always be flowing in the web page. It will be about drinking too much water. So basically we are using this context term, and in every subsection, we slightly talk about something else together with this. The color of urine won't be mentioned in a low blood sugar, for instance, or even if it is mentioned, there will be some other words that appear in this area, but they won't be appearing in this part. This is actually called in two ways. One of them is statistical linguistics. Another one is actually distributional, if I can write it correctly, semantics. If you're able to use these two things, it will be easy for you, because in my ranking algorithm examination, I directly told that there are two types of ranking algorithms. One is coming from the quantities, the other one is coming from the qualities or qualitatives. And usually checking the quantity is easier than the quality. So the first initial and the better rankings, it can come with the usage of the proper distributional semantics. That's why finding the most important context terms for these subsections in the context of drinking too much water, but not drinking water, drinking too much water. In this context, if you're able to find the most relevant specific concepts for this, it will be really useful. Years ago, when I didn't have this level of, let's say, experience, I was using word2vec or related words or different types of systems to find these things. But after a point, you will start to realize all these specific connections and you will start to sense it. And for the last 4 years, I don't use any tool. One more thing is, any of these questions, they don't come from people asked questions. We try to trigger new questions. We don't repeat the existing ones. Okay, so for the next a few more lectures, we will see actually more content briefs, then we will look at the articles directly. Thank you.